The last day of summer, chapter 33, maneuver number 73. Petey allowed them their moment, though not a long one. He cleared his throat loudly, which made Otto and Time Star separate. I don't mean to interrupt, but we need to find that Mr. Flux guy, right? Right. Time Star turned away, fixing his face. Otto did the same. Time Star pointed with his chin. I bet she knows. She was the clock watcher called Bedtime, still frozen from Sheed's camera shot. Time Star puffed up his chest and made a show of cracking his knuckles, but when the childlike clock watcher's bottom lip began to quiver, he backed down. Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. It's just we need to know how to find Mr. Flux. I don't want things to get unpleasant between us, but he's in the clock tower, said Bedtime. Him, a lot of clock watchers, and a bunch of time sucks. Really? Time Star sounded surprised. Is that easy? I don't like Mr. Flux. I want you to stop him. Otto said. Why were you helping him then? He said I could stay up. Bedtime yawned. Awesome, Otto said. Is there any other helpful stuff you can tell us? You're going to lose. Petey said. I was thinking the same thing. They'd been overwhelmed by Mr. Flux's backyard clock watcher attack, and if the remaining clock watchers at the ice cream shop were the only ones who hadn't gone to his side, then Mr. Flux had a small army, plus the camera, plus Sheed. Otto made himself not think much about his cousin because he didn't want to cry again. Time Star said, Any chance you've got a maneuver for this that I've forgotten about? No maneuvers this time. Hold on. That wasn't actually true. Another of Grandma's favorite sayings was, You learn something new every day. The legendary Austin boys' maneuvers always came from learning something new while on an adventure, something that Otto catalogued for them for later. There's been a lot of new lessons today. One in particular just might be new maneuver worthy. Time Star said, I know that look. What are you thinking, Otto? I think we need to go for ice cream right now. Follow me. So they did. AM and PM still had full heaping bowls of creamy goodness when Otto, Time Star, and Petey entered the Nice Dream ice cream shop. What had changed were the number of empty seats. There were fewer clock watchers here than before. Otto said, Did more of them go to Mr. Flux? Butter Pecan dribbled down PM's chin and dripped onto his neckerchief. It would seem that way. Otto's heart fell into his left shoe. They needed more support, not less. So many sullen faces here. Father Time simply bent forward, bumping his forehead on a table repeatedly. Game Time flicked glances at the door as if she was considering leaving too. She would have known what to do here. He would have gotten angry and thrown something, or gotten excited and jumped on the table so everyone could hear him, and they would have listened. Those were his maneuvers. Otto turned to Time Star. Can you say something to them? You're an adult. They might listen. Otto's grown-up self knelt and grabbed the boy by both shoulders. I'm an adult, but I'm also you. Technically, this is your time, dude. You got this. Time Star released him, and he faced the room. Hey, everybody. His voice was too low, drowned by clinking spoons and woeful moans. Otto took a deep breath and thought, I got this. He shouted, Hey, everybody, listen up. Every clock watcher in the place focused on him. Father Time stopped banging his head on the table. Things have gone pretty wrong today, said Otto. Some of that is my fault. Most of it is on Mr. Flux. I think you all know that. Murmuring agreement rumbled throughout the place. Otto said, What's happening now, though, is your fault. All that agreement mess stopped. What do you mean? Several second-guessers said at once. Ice cream is delicious. I don't blame you for that, but this feels like give up ice cream, not get ready to fight ice cream. The second-guessers grumbled some more. Otto thought they might jump him. Father Time spoke up. What would you have us do? Our function is managing time, and that's not important anymore. Your function has to be different now. You have to adjust to save time. That's very important. A disgruntled Minuteman with poor aim flung a maraschino cherry in the general direction of Otto's head. Easy for you to say. You human persons are always flip-flopping about, changing this plan, changing that plan. All that flexibility is simple for you. A long clock watcher stood in the corner. He wore a vest that displayed a bunch of digital clock faces. They all kept flickering, changing, springing forward an hour, then falling back. He raised his hand and said, I'm fine with flexibility. The cranky Minuteman threw a handful of chopped walnuts at him. Nobody asked you daylight savings time. Otto clenched his fist. I usually have a partner, someone who helps me handle stuff. He's gone, and I don't know if I'm going to ever get him back. Time Star, visible from the corner of Otto's eye, nodded. Keep going. I'm going to have to figure out how to do stuff on my own. I don't know if I'm going to be good at it. It might go super bad when we get out there and face Mr. Flux, but I'm going anyway. If at least some of you help me, then we have a chance. Or just keep eating ice cream forever. It's up to you. Otto snatched a cherry from A.M.'s big bowl and tossed it at the Minuteman, dinging him right in the nose. That's Proceed. Now who's with me? A.M. and P.M. put down their spoons. A.M. clutched her skirt and hopped off her stool. We always liked the look of you, she said. Your determination is so chic, said P.M., joining her. Game Time leapt onto Father Time's table. Yeah! The second guessers huddled together, conferred, then broke with a simultaneous clap. We guess we'll help. One by one, the remaining clock watchers joined in, reluctantly perhaps, but Otto couldn't afford to turn anyone away because of low enthusiasm. If that had been enough to disqualify participants, he'd have left Petey behind. Time Star slapped a hand on Otto's back. I told you you had this. I'm really proud of us. So what's the maneuver? It's a new one. Maneuver number 73. Unstick our army. Chapter 34. An Easy Assumption. Mrs. Nedral, the proprietor of the Roram Mirror Emporium, had been the answer, proof that all was not lost. A.M. and P.M. had touched her, along with Otto and she'd been permanently unfrozen, free to chase her mirror monsters. Entry number 78. A clock watcher touch plus a human touch equals an unfrozen person. Deduction. Enough unfrozen Fry residents could rival Mr. Flux's clock watcher army. 3 unstuck humans, Otto, Time Star, and Petey, and not very many clock watchers meant they better get moving. We won't be able to unfreeze everyone, but I've got a few names in mind. A.M. and P.M., you're fast. Can you two zip me and Time Star around the county? The Golden Hours nodded fervently. What about me? Petey asked. I've got a different job for you. I just need to get a lab partner. Otto explained what he meant, and when he finished, Petey grinned big. Time Star said, Where do you want me to go first? For now, we're sticking together. Why? We'll cover more ground if we split up. He stopped, considered. I'm really debating with myself. Another grandma saying came to mind. You boys could start an argument with your own reflections. Otto scribbled in his notebook, thinking as he wrote. We'll split up soon enough. Gonna need your help with something big first. If you say so. Otto ran round the ice cream shop, his notepad pages fluttering. Between the day's observations, deductions, and next steps, this maneuver was the most complicated yet very likely one use only. There'd be no second chances. With everyone assigned their role, Otto asked, Any questions? Father Time raised his hand. If we win, can we have more ice cream? Otto said, I'll see what I can do. Petey explained to the Golden Hours that when they carried Otto and Time Star around the county, they couldn't move at light speed. Going that fast would disintegrate a human. A.M. and P.M. nodded thoughtfully. Good to know. The Golden Hours, going nowhere near their top speed, were still pretty darn fast, getting Otto and Time Star from the ice cream shop to the edge of the gnarled forest, where Wiki and Lean Ellison remained frozen. Time Star said, Oh, wow, the epic Ellisons. Me and P.M. will unfreeze Lean. You and A.M. get Wiki. Time Star moved towards Lean before Otto finished talking. You take Wiki. Okay. I guess it doesn't matter. Time Star and A.M. worked on unfreezing Lean. Otto approached Wiki and was not looking forward to it. Listen, I'm going to unstick you now. I have to touch you to do it. Is it okay if I grab your arm? Grandma said they should always ask permission before touching people, no matter the circumstances, even if time was frozen. Yes, you can touch my arm. Otto reached for her and motioned for P.M. to do the same. I'm going to have to explain something kind of unbelievable to you. Wiki said, That old guy and you are the same person. You must be from the future, which means time travel is a thing. Otto snatched his hand back, semi-furious. How do you know that? I saw you two standing side by side. Even with him being older, you share 32 identical facial characteristics. Me and Lean don't have that many similarities, and we're twins. It's either time travel or some kind of cloning experiment. I estimated time travel was 77% more likely, an easy assumption. Huffing but forcing himself to focus, Otto grasped her arm. P.M. touched her shoulder, and Wiki sagged from her previous frozen state. Smiling, she flexed, bounced in place, shadowboxed the air with several quick jabs. A few yards away, Lean Ellison stretched, enjoying freedom, the gear in her tool belt clanking with each movement. You okay, Wiki? Good to go, sis. Wiki leaned into Otto and whispered, Where's Sheed? We're going to get him. We need your help. Wiki dismissed that with a hand wave. Of course you need our help to get your Sheed. Nothing new there. She jutted her chin towards Timestar. Where's his Sheed? The way you two are, how's grown-up you not with grown-up him? He didn't bother turning away or try to control his facial expressions. He didn't care to hide what he knew of Sheed's fate. It was a hard secret to have. Oh, Wiki sounded uncharacteristically kind and sad. I'm sorry. She touched his arm and a tiny electric shock passed between them. Even though she hadn't asked first, it was okay. Don't be sorry yet. Our Sheed is in the clock tower and he needs us. Then he's got us. She stepped closer, still touching his arm, and whispered, Don't tell Lean about old Sheed. You know how she gets. Otto actually didn't know how Lean got, beyond her knack for building strange, dangerous machines. He nodded anyway. Wiki yelled to her sister, Hey, Lean, time to go to work. Lean's lip quivered, her head whipped between Wiki and the woods. But my robot. Leave it for now, we'll come back. Otto stopped her. Actually, I wasn't planning on leaving it. According to his notes, big objects could be unfrozen when two people touched them, just like the upside-down levitating car on Main Street. Otto delved into the shadows towards the massive machine. Hey, Timestar, do you mind giving me a hand? There were other stops to make, other allies to recruit. Mr. Archie and Anna, once unstuck, provided supplies from their hardware store. Dr. Medina wanted in on the fight and promised her healthiest animals would help too. Otto didn't know how that was going to work exactly, but he wasn't in any position to turn away volunteers. Mrs. Nedrall, however, was not so willing. No, she shrieked, coiling a bandage around a circular, sucker-shaped bruise on her calf, an injury sustained wrestling in the mirror tentacles. I almost lost a prisoner because of your carelessness. I will not leave my post here at the Emporium, and you cannot have any of the things you asked for. You created this problem. You fix it on your own. Do you hear? Otto had been afraid this might happen, so he gave PM the signal they had discussed, and quickly, though not so quick, that they'd disintegrate the wardens, Mrs. Nedrall got zipped away from the Mirror Emporium and dropped off 50 miles away at Walmart in Richmond. Turned to Otto, directing clock watchers and county residents to gather the necessary items. When he was sure the plan was being executed to his satisfaction, Otto said, Get me back to the lab while the others finish up here. In a blink, he was at Petey's. PM gave a polite nod, then zipped away again. Lean hunched over Timestar's malfunctioning time travel device, Petey at his shoulder. The two of them grinned, heads bobbing in agreement. Otto hoped that was a good sign. What'd you find out? Lean spun her chair so they faced each other, pointed at some new, complicated drawing on Petey's corkboard. All graph lines and sweeping curves and mathematical equations that looked like a language from another planet. She said, This device is fine as far as I can tell. There's no damage to it. All interior connections and circuits, if that's what you even call parts this advanced, haven't been disturbed. So why can't Timestar go home? Petey said, It was so obvious once Lean suggested it. Thank you, Lean. You're welcome, Mr. Petey. Lean bowed to the applause in her head. Timestar is trying to go forward in time. There's no forward when time is frozen. Unless we win, we're at the end. Otto whipped out his notepad, jotting that down. Another deduction and maybe one more maneuver came to mind. Okay, we're almost ready. Even if we weren't, we can't wait. There's no telling what kind of horrible things Mr. Flux is doing to Sheed if he hasn't outright frozen him already. We have to rescue him now. Petey and Lean, especially Lean, agreed wholeheartedly. The horrors Sheed was surely enduring were beyond imagining.